All right, let's dive into this story. It's all about four teenagers and how one single reckless decision just completely unravels their lives. We're going to look at the real cost of just one choice.
You know, this quote really sets the stage perfectly. You can't lose what you don't own. So the whole thing kicks off with a robbery, right? Two teenage boys, Jace and Dylan. But this isn't really about the stolen money. It's about how that one act forces everyone around them to take a hard look at what they think they own, their freedom, their loyalty, their entire future, and what they're on the verge of losing.
So what does happen when one bad decision just spirals out of control? That's really the heart of what we're looking at. It's this massive domino effect, pulling in friends, family, and putting every single one of them in this impossible position where they have to choose between their freedom, their loyalty, and the future they thought was a sure thing.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the ripple effect of this crime. Because this isn't just about the two boys who did the robbery. The consequences, they just splash outwards immediately. And the very first person to get hit by that wave, she's a super talented young artist.
So, that first domino? It's a girl named Alanja, a really gifted painter. And for her art studio, it's not just a room, it's her entire world. The police give her this deal, inform on Jace and Dylan, and all her own charges disappear. Or stay quiet. She chooses loyalty, and the price she pays for that loyalty is absolutely devastating. Her parents take away her studio, the one place, the one thing she felt was truly hers.
So, while Alanja's world is falling apart, one of the guys who did the robbery, Jace, is about to walk right into a trap of his own. And it's a classic, pretty clever bit of police psychology.
Okay, so check out how this trick works. The detective, Kilkenny, he gets Jace all by himself. Then he scribbles a fake confession, making it look like it's from Dylan, and just leaves the notebook out where Jace is sure to see it. He walks out, Jace reads what he thinks is a total betrayal, and he just gets furious. And boom, the trap is set.
And of course, feeling totally betrayed, Jace tells them everything. He's just trying to set the record straight, you know? But here's the kicker. He finds out later that Dylan never said a word. The confession is real, absolutely, but the betrayal that caused it, it was a total lie. Like his dad says, the detective basically pulled a confession out of thin air. And just like that, Jace is trapped.
All right, so that brings us to our next section, the blueprint of Runaways. With the walls closing in on pretty much everyone, this kind of romantic fantasy of just running away from it all, it starts to look like a real desperate plan.
So now we've got Sarah, Jace's girlfriend, and she's facing this absolutely impossible choice. And here's the real irony, right? Jace did the robbery in the first place to help her escape her life. But now, to be with him, she has to run away and give up the only thing she has left from her parents, a trust fund that's tied to her finishing college. So it's love versus legacy. And in the end, she chooses legacy. But as they're all on their way to the airport, Jace has this really unsettling thought. It's something called the Abilene paradox. It's basically when a whole group of people decides to do something that not a single one of them actually wants to do, just because they all think it's what everyone else wants. And he starts to wonder, is that us? Are we all on this bus, heading somewhere none of us really want to go? Are we running to paradise, or are we just running?
Which leads us right into our third section, the artifice of paradise. They actually make it to Maui, but this paradise they've found is built on a foundation of lies, and it is super fragile. And almost right away, this opportunity drops into their laps that seems way too good to be true, and it's something that could either save them or just completely destroy them.
So it turns out Sarah did go with them after all. And once they're in Maui, she and Jace literally stumble into what feels like a miracle. Jace helps this wealthy guy, Mark, fix a flat tire. And just like that, Mark offers them this dream job as caretakers for his mansion. We're talking free rent, a couple grand a month, a Jeep. It seems like the absolute perfect solution. But there's got to be a catch, right?
And yep, there it is, the catch, a background check. The one thing that unlocks this perfect life in paradise is the exact same thing that will expose their past and show that they're fugitives. The very thing that can save them is also the one thing that will absolutely destroy them. Their dream and their nightmare are basically the same thing. So then Mark, trying to be funny I guess, jokes that they failed the background check. Jace and Sarah just freeze in pure terror, and he laughs and says this unbelievably awful thing, not knowing, of course, that Sarah's parents actually were recently killed in an accident. The shock and the horrible awkwardness of that moment, it somehow seals the deal. They get the job. Okay? That whole background check thing, it's a huge wake-up call. It forces them to a crossroads, and they have to make a really critical decision. They come up with a new plan, one last lie, and this one is going to fracture the group for good and send Jace down a totally different path.
Jace finally gets it. He can't live his entire life looking over his shoulder. And what's so powerful here is you can see the two futures laid out for him. There's the downhill path, stay in Maui, live this comfortable lie, or there's the uphill climb, go back to Utah, face prison, but maybe, just maybe, reclaim his life and be truly free someday.
So they come up with this secret plan. It's a huge gamble, really, an attempt to have it all. Sarah will stay behind and secure the mansion, their little slice of paradise. Meanwhile, Jace will sneak back to Utah for his court date. It's a strategic move, for sure, but it's all built on another lie they're telling their friends.
And so Jace chooses the hard path, that uphill climb. He flies back to Salt Lake City, and it feels a lot like the prodigal son returning, you know? But the second he gets there, he gets this chilling glimpse of the very future he was running from.
So picture this. He's back in Salt Lake at this lonely bus station, and he has this weird encounter. A homeless man comes up to him, offers to watch his back for a couple bucks, but it's the name the man uses that's what really gets to Jace.
The man tells him, "They call me Red." Wow. And just like that, it's this incredibly chilling piece of foreshadowing. Because Red was the alias Dilling was using back in Maui, in their fake paradise. In that moment, Jace is literally staring at a ghost of his own future. This is what he would become if he had stayed on that easy downhill path. A guy with no real name, no identity, and absolutely no hope.
And this quote from Milton just hits the nail on the head. Long is the way and hard that out of hell leads up to light. Jace finally understands it. That easy path, that paradise he was chasing, it was its own kind of hell. And the truly hard path, the one where he has to face what he did, that's the only one that actually leads back into the light.
So the whole story really leaves us with this one powerful question. Is true freedom something you find by escaping your past, by just running away and creating a new life? Or is it something harder? Is real freedom only earned when you have the courage to turn around and face your past, no matter how hard that climb is going to be?